All right, so let's go ahead and look at our development process for one-to-one bidirectional. Like we learned earlier, the first thing we need to do is make some updates to our instructor detail class. We'll need to add a new field to reference the instructor, add getter setter methods for the instructor, also add the one-to-one annotation. And then finally, once that's all in place, then we'll put it together with the main application. Now, one thing I like to do is copy our project and give it a name. So I'd like to kind of keep the original version of this one-to-one uni and then have a new project that has one-to-one bi. And I'll just kind of use this existing uni project as a starting point. So we're just kind of creating a backup copy, and then we're giving the project a new name, and we'll start working with that new copy. Let's go ahead and close this project in IntelliJ. And now let's zoom in here for a second. Let's open up Dev Spring Boot. And then let's open up the 09 directory. And then let's select this directory here, the 01 JPA one-to-one uni. Let's just go ahead and do a copy paste on it. And let's rename it 02 JPA one-to-one bi. That's short for bidirectional. And then we'll open up this 02 project in IntelliJ. Okay, great. So we have 02 open in our IDE. Let's go ahead and rebuild this real quick. All right, now one thing I want to talk about is our configuration file, the application.properties, where we have our JDBC URL. And notice here in the URL, if we slide over a bit, we have the actual reference to the database schema, HB one-to-one uni. Now remember, for bidirectional, there's no changes required to the database schema. All you have to do is make changes in your Java source code. So I didn't really choose a good name for the schema. I called it uni. I really should have chosen a better name. But anyways, we can still use the uni schema name for this coding, right? Because the schema name is only a name. We still have our tables for instructor and instructor detail. The only changes we need to make is in the actual Java source code. So we'll use the exact same schema as in the previous set of videos. I just wanted to give you a heads up about that, just so you don't yell at me about it. I should have chosen a better name. But anyways, we're all good with that. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and zoom in here. And the first thing we need to do is actually add the new field to reference the instructor. So we're going to edit instructor detail.java and make that new update. So I'll expand the window here, zoom out, and let me just kind of scroll down for a bit where I'll define that new field. So we need to add the new field for instructor, and also while we're at it, we'll add our getter and setter methods. Alrighty, so it's really simple, right? I'm just defining a field for instructor, say private instructor, instructor, semi. And here I'll kind of zoom in for a second, and we'll actually click the box here for instructor. So that's the one that we want to generate getters and setters for, instructor. And then keep all the other defaults here and hit OK. All right, sweet. So we have these new getters and setters. Let me clean up some white space here. So those are the new getters and setters generated for us. What I'd like to do is actually move these methods down to the bottom of this class, or near the bottom of the class. That's for getter and setter, mainly just for organizational purposes. So let's go ahead and cut these two methods. And let's move down to the bottom of the class. And let's paste these methods. All right, this looks good. Again, mainly just for organizational purposes. All right, now moving on to the next step, 1.3, we need to add the @1-to-1 annotation on this instructor field. So this will basically help us and give us that two-way or bidirectional relationship between these two objects, instructor and instructor detail. So here I have @1-to-1, and then I say mapped by, and then for the mapped by value, I give instructor detail. So remember, the map by refers to the instructor detail property in the instructor class. So that's how Hibernate will figure out how to look up the appropriate instructor for this given instructor detail. And then we'll also add in the cascading support here. So I'll say cascade type.all. And again, this will cascade all operations to the associated instructor. So if we save the instructor detail, it'll also save the appropriate instructor. If we delete the instructor detail, it'll also delete the associated instructor. So it'll basically cascade all operations across.